When the rain slows and the paddocks start to dry, every decision on the farm matters a bit more. Droughts test more than just the land. They test our planning, our people, and our ability to adapt. But with the right preparation and a few practical steps, we can ease the pressure and recover faster. This short video series is here to help, guiding you to get ready, manage through, and bounce back from dry conditions. Each episode shares straight up practical advice from people who've been there, ideas you can use straight away. Small actions today can make a big difference tomorrow.
In a drought, your main focus has to be animal welfare, and there's three parts to this: water, feed and disease. And I'll start with water first because it's pretty simple. Under the Animal Welfare Act, you have to provide the water that your animals require. So if a cow needs 100 litres a day or even 150 litres a day during a drought, you must provide this at a minimum. This means for a 500 cow herd drinking 100 litres a day, that's 50,000 litres or 50 cube of water a day. If in worst case scenario you can't provide this, then you may be forced to dry cows off to reduce water demand. When it comes to feed and nutrition, we use body condition score to measure this. It's important that you manage and feed your cows so that they do not drop below body condition score 3.5. This is because if they drop too much in body condition score, you could have production, animal health or even welfare issues in the next season if you don't have time to get them back up to the calving condition score they require. The first rule in a drought is that every cow on your farm at that time must be a cow that's going to be there the next dairy season. This is because we don't want to waste precious feed maintaining the body condition of a cow that's not going to be there next year. For example, for a dairy herd, culling 20% of your herd being fed 12 kilos of dry matter per day will free up about 3 to 3.5 kilos of dry matter per cow for the rest of the herd, and that's significant in a drought. Culling can also help decrease water demand, but you've got to make your culling plan early. Even if it's cull 5% now, 5% in 3 weeks and another 10% after pregnancy testing time, at least you've made a plan around that. Remember to book those culls into the works early as well. You can always cancel a booking, but it's impossible to get one out of thin air when things become desperate. If you have young stock on your farm, try and find a place you can send them away for grazing. This will free up feed for your herd, and also your young stock may well be better fed in another part of the country. Your second decision is around the early drying off of cows so they do not lose any more weight. This can free up a bit of extra feed for the main herd. It's a pretty simple rule. Dry off any cow that is at body condition score 3.5. Feed them maintenance so they do not lose any more weight. Palm kernel or other low quality feeds can be used for these animals on maintenance, and this keeps your pasture and silage or other high quality feeds for your milking herd. You must plan your heifer dry off. In any normal summer, your heifers are trying to milk, put on body condition score, but they're still growing in size because they haven't reached adult weight yet. How can they do all three things in a drought when you're struggling to get your cows to do 2 of them? Dry your heifers off in a batch. You need to dry them off before they get below body condition score 4. This is because a heifer needs to calve at body condition score 5.5 when they calve as a 3-year-old. For a dairy farm, after culling and drying off your thin cows and your heifers, you may only have 50 to 60% of your milking herd left. But the aim then is to milk that group of cows for as long as you possibly can. At some point, you're going to reduce milking frequency, usually to once a day. But do not do this instead of culling and early dry off. Milking cows on once a day doesn't free up much extra feed. However, being on once a day for long periods, usually greater than 6 weeks, does help maintain body condition score up to around 1/4 of a score for the herd, and that's also significant. Because body condition score is your critical measurement in a drought, get someone trained in body condition scoring to measure your cows. That way, you're getting the right information at the right time to make the right decision early. As far as a summer-autumn drought goes, the 3 main diseases we need to look out for are heat stress, facial eczema, and acidosis from purchasing the wrong sort of feed for your cows. You don't need to buy the expensive feeds in a cow that's been underfed. Don't try and balance their diet. Focus on the bulk, cheaper feeds to maintain energy intakes And be very cautious of feeds high in sugars and starch, as feeding these incorrectly can cause acidosis, which can result in cow sickness and death. If you're in a facial eczema prone region, you're going to have to continue zinc dosing. If your zinc is in your in-shed feeding, this may mean you're going to have to keep milking twice a day to ensure they get the full zinc dose. Young stock and dried off stock may need zinc boluses, and the use of a sacrifice paddock can ensure stock aren't on a high spore count pasture for the entire day. Heat stress is obviously more likely in a drought with the higher temperatures. Things that you can do to reduce the impacts of heat stress include putting the cows on once daily milking to avoid milking in the afternoon, or delay the afternoon milking if you're still milking twice a day. If you have lots of water, consider putting sprinklers in the yard, or cool down the concrete in the yard before the cows enter. This must be done 1 or 2 hours before the cows enter the yard. It takes a hell of a lot of water, and we don't need steam coming off that concrete when the cows enter. If using a sacrifice paddock, choose a paddock that has afternoon shade, and give the bulk of the extra feed at the night when the temperatures are cooler. Most importantly, start thinking about all these things early in the drought process, and seek advice from your veterinarian, nutritionist or farm advisor so that you can apply these principles to your farm and help look after your animals.
During summer, it's vital that you keep up conversations with your bank. If it gets to a stage where you need additional support from your bank, make sure you talk to them early. This could involve deferred payments, interest only on your loans, or even extending your overdraft to ensure that you can feed your cattle adequately over this time. I also recommend that you keep looking back at that summer management plan. Whether you're going with your early dry or late dry management plan, these are providing you key trigger dates to help you make your decisions. It's very easy in the middle of summer to continue onwards, even when you possibly should have dried off earlier, if there's a good milk payer or you feel like there's more to be gained. Next, I recommend you look over some of our tools. The first up is the feed budget. So the first thing you'll see on your screen is the simple feed budget. What a simple feed budget does is it calculates whether you're going to have a surplus or deficit on your farm based on the number of cows on the platform and the available feed. This is an excellent tool over summer because it helps you recognise the deficit that you're going to have and allow you to make decisions to fill this deficit to ensure you're doing best by your cattle. Follow the left-hand side down. This is your feed supply or the available feed that you have for your animals. If you go through, you have your pasture growth, your nitrogen boosted growth, which if you're already adding this into the pasture growth, don't double add it. Down further, you have your supplementary feed available, so add anything that you have available over this time, and that will calculate the total feed supply that you have available. On the right-hand side, you have your feed demand. The first section is your milking cows only. Place the number of milking cows that you have over the summer months in the boxes shown, and the kilograms of dry matter per cow per day that's being offered. Next, go down. If you have any dry cows on the platform, enter them here. And further down, if you have any other stock, such as beefies, on the platform, feel free to add them in here so that you're ensuring that you're including their demand. Finally, so that you can make sure you're meeting their requirements come calving, add in here the number of cows that you want to gain condition score and the amount that you want to add. And that will calculate the total demand on your platform. At the bottom of the page, you'll see it will calculate the deficit or the surplus that you have over summer and allow you to make smart decisions going forward. The next tool shown on screen is our feed checker tool. This helps you to calculate if the feed you're providing with your animals are meeting their nutritional requirements. Go into the tool and add your breed, stage of lactation, average live weight, and the estimated body condition score, loss or gain you want over the next month. Next, add your date of calving, the cows in the mob, the milk solids that they're doing, the terrain, the total walking distance, and the weeks to the next planned start of calving should enter automatically. The second section is for adding information about your pasture quality. This is pretty straightforward, so follow it through, but if you have any difficulties, contact your DairyNZ area manager. If you're feeding crops, add this into section 3. And finally, in section 4, add the feed type that you're feeding and the feeding method to ensure that you're calculating your utilisation and wastage. On the right-hand side, you will see where it says feed checker. This will calculate whether you're meeting the nutritional requirements of your animals. Go down and any boxes that are red will show you that you have a deficiency in this area and need to include additional feed to meet the animal's requirements. After you complete your feed budget and recognise your deficit and go through the feed checker to ensure you're meeting the nutritional requirements of your animals, the next thing to do is keep a close eye on your herd and their body condition score. Going into calving, we want to make sure that the mature herd is at a body condition score of 5, while second and third year calvers are a body condition score of 5.5. So making smart decisions about when to milk on and dry off are very important during this time. The first app I want to show you on the screen is the Body Condition Score Tracker mobile app that you can easily install on your phone. This app allows you to go through and condition score in your herd so that you can recognise which animals may be falling behind and can make smart decisions in this space. Once you've used our Body Condition Score tool to assess your herd and decide which animals may be falling behind, it's important to start making smart decisions about when to dry off these animals. Using the DairyNZ Body Condition Score dry-off calculator shown on the screen, this tool helps you to identify those animals and give you optimal dry-off dates. Follow down the table, and where boxes are green, use these as drop-downs to select the appropriate option. This includes the region that you're located in and your planned start of calving. Next, follow this down, and where there is a white box, enter the appropriate figure. This includes the number of cows in your herd, the proportion of rising 3-year-olds in your herd, and the percentage of cows due to calve within 4 weeks from your planned start of calving. As you follow the tool down, enter the amount of animals in each section, the number of rising 3-year-olds at each body condition score, the number of mature cows at each body condition score, and the amount of mature cows that are late calvers at each body condition score. This will help create a table that shows you which dates these animals should be dried off to ensure that they're on their way to meeting the correct body condition score come calving time. Summer can be a really stressful time for everybody, especially if it's more dry than usual. If you have any trouble or need any help using our tools, make sure you reach out to your area manager. You can either Google regional teams or call us at 0800 DairyNZ and we'll be there to help.